welcome to Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner Linda Bernard. I didn't wear my badge today, and I really should have, ladies and gentlemen, because I just won the election. I won, and it was really a super good election victory, more than 2-1. So I'm really excited and really happy to be here with you today, and I appreciate all of your support, your prayers, your vote, any and everything that you did to help make this a very positive experience for me, and obviously for the citizens of the city of Detroit who can now benefit for the next 4 years from the leadership and ability of myself, the only attorney on the Board of Police Commissioners who understands, obviously, civil rights issues, search and seizure issues, things like that. A person who actually practices law in the courts, criminal defense law, and therefore I really do know a little something about the police. Because, as I tell everyone, whether you think the police are important or not, every single criminal case starts with what? A police report. So how the police see things, how they write things up, what the laws actually say, matter in every person's life. So I am your advocate with respect to complete transparency and obviously police reform where it's necessary. And I'm also the defender of your rights. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support, and God bless you all. Now, I know many of you can see that I have this shirt on with this big B on it over here. I can see. And you want to know, is this for Bernard? Because my name is Linda Bernard. No, it's not. But it's kind of cool that it does have a B, quite frankly. It's for the Black Sox, the Baltimore Black Sox. On the back of my sweater, it says Black Sox. And the Baltimore Black Sox were what the Detroit Stars were here in Detroit. It was the Negro League in Baltimore. Most major cities in the nation that had a sizable black population also had a baseball team, because baseball, as we all know, was America's sport. So this sweater honors Baltimore. It honors the Black Sox, which was the Black National Negro League team in Baltimore. And for your information, the various Negro Leagues lasted for about 40 years, 30 some years actually. They sort of went out of business in like 1940, around about the time the Second World War was getting ready to start. So I wear it proudly, representing the Baltimore Black Sox, as I do when I wear the Detroit Stars jersey, etc., in recognition of the contributions of African American athletes who were phenomenal, but who were not given the opportunity to make the money and obviously the have this whole aura that goes with being a professional athlete that Babe Ruth had, everybody else had in those times, and even today. So I wear it proudly. I wear it as an African American, and obviously I wear it as a super supporter of athletics and frankly all sports. Speaking of sports, before I get to my guest today, Mr. Brian Alexander, who's going to talk about the stock market, it will not consist of financial advice. It will be his own personal perspective and what he's been able to do as a young entrepreneur in this area. But having said all that, we're going to get to him in a minute. But before I go further, from last Saturday to this Saturday, I have to give a huge shout out to Michigan State and to Coach Tucker at Michigan State. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that I was so wrapped up in the game and hollered and screamed so much that I gave myself a migraine headache. I was so proud of Coach Tucker as he strode the sidelines, tall, black, bald, in a black jumpsuit, exercise suit. He was amazing to me. I call him my Mandingo because he's everything that I've ever read about that represented a Mandingo warrior. He wasn't scared. He didn't hide. He was in charge. He didn't holler, scream, or anything like that. He was just cool. And even when he was 15 points down, He just kept striding that sideline, kept talking to his players, kept working with his team because he knew that in the end he was superior to Harborough and and his team was superior to Michigan. I was so happy I can't begin to tell you. And I told everybody that was in my presence that day, that was male, that was pulling against him, that they were all Sambos. Called three men. Told them Sambo 1, Sambo 2, Sambo 3. How can you sit here and pull against a black man? Only two black coaches in the Big Ten. Tucker's one, the other one's in Maryland. Only two. And you know how Michigan always has had this this really white male superiority complex regarding everything Michigan, which is disgusting. And Harborough's own reputation on this. I mean, it was amazing. And furthermore, it was amazing to me because Hoskins, the best thing that is a great guy, wonderful running back, extraordinarily talented brother, who plays for Michigan. Unfortunately, I was worried about him because when he gets loose, he just creates so much damage. But State held him tight, did not let Hoskins get free. So that was the best part on with respect to the defense. But the Michigan State offense with Mr. Walker, who ran 6 touchdowns, 6, amazing, and just excuse the expression, whipped their ass till it rolled like okra. Ooh, he was bad, and he's a Heisman Trophy contender. So I can't tell you how proud I was of Tucker. With the rain on his head. I mean, Harborough was over there with his hat on, dark glasses on, like a criminal, and a great big jacket and everything. Tucker just strode. The rain didn't stop him. The cold didn't stop him. Nothing. He was just large and in charge. He was a Mandingo warrior. So if any of you know him or see him, please tell him that he has a fan par excellence who is a police commissioner in the city of Detroit. And I want to meet him and congratulate him personally. But even without that, I just want him to understand the incredible pride I took in his dignity, in his stance, in his manhood, his head being high, the rain glistening on his face and head. He wasn't scared of the elements. He wasn't scared of Harborough. He wasn't scared of anything or anybody. And he just showed out. And I am so very, very, very proud. A man who makes a tenth of what Harborough makes in terms of salary and benefits and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, please convey my utmost respect, regard, honor, homage to Coach Tucker. If any of you know him, call him. Please tell him. He's just wonderful. And I would love to have him on this show. I'll accommodate his schedule. I know Saturday is his busy day. It's the day that we tape. But whenever he's available, I'm available 24/7. Attorney Linda Bernard, Police Commissioner Linda Bernard. Now, having said that, before we move into our topic, once again, let me just go back to the election results in the city of Detroit. Oh, one other thing. I want to let you know that this was a great week for me. Saturday, Michigan State won. Of course, Monday, November 1st was my birthday. Praise the Lord. It's All Saints Day. All the Catholic countries in the world, all the Catholic schools in the world shut down. All of France, all of South America, all of Mexico. It's a holy day of obligation in the Catholic Church, Spain, Italy, all these places. Anyway, they all shut down. It's like our President's Day or something. It's a holy day, meaning you can't have any business taking place. Banks are closed, etc. So so Monday was my birthday, and so I'm still here. So that's a great blessing. And then on Tuesday was the election, and I whipped some butt. So that was a good thing. So it's been a great week since I last saw you. I'm happy. I hope you are happy, and I hope your week and your future days and weeks are pleasant and joyful for you and your families. Now, back to the election. I just want you to know, because you may not have seen the actual stats, that only 18.66% of Detroiters voted. There are, in the city of Detroit, 502,067 registered voters. Only the total votes in this election was 93,694. So that's 18.66% of voters that actually turned out. I knew the turnout was going to be low, and if any of my listeners are familiar with Detroit politics and Michigan politics, then you know that on this particular election there were no congressional seats up. This was really a Detroit race on just for Detroit elected officials, and we had three major proposals. But the mayor of the city of Detroit, Mike Duggan, who was the first white mayor, just will now be serving his third term, which is a tremendous mandate for him. Quite frankly, in a city that's 88% black. I mean, he really shook it up. Anthony Adams, who ran against him, who's an African American lawyer and a friend of mine, both he and Mike Duggan are lawyers, and I've known them both for years. Did a good job and put out there some issues that need to be addressed by the city. And my hope is that Mayor Duggan will address the issues that his opponent spoke about systemically, and that we if you will, that we build an even better Detroit with greater African American participation, which is really the only drawback that has been alleged with respect to Mayor Duggan. We need to create more black millionaires, support more black businesses, and obviously elevate the African American community. And that's what I want to do. And I want to make sure, as a lawyer and as a police commissioner, that we do not continue to contribute to the All Black Male Academy, which is Jackson Prison. I've said this before, so if you're familiar with me, you know how I feel about it. That's actually a Jesse Jackson phrase about it being the All Black Male Academy, about Jackson Prison being that, and why we have to do things in the community to do things a little differently in order to make sure that that's not happening anymore. And of course, the crux of that is education. The other races and so forth were interesting. The one that was the biggest upset, I think, was that Roy McAllister lost to Miss Calloway. That was unexpected. He was an incumbent and the city councilman for District 2, which was also my district. Shout out to Miss Calloway. She ran a heck of a campaign, did like 5 mailings, which is unbelievable, and was really out there and did all that she could, and she won. And again, congratulations to Roy McAllister for having served as a councilman with dignity and respect for his community and for himself. And he did a good job. He supported a lot of initiatives that have made the city made the city's comeback much more rapid. He's a great guy. He's a veteran, a retired veteran from the military. He's a retired Detroit police officer. He's a former, not diplomat, but part of the security services that we had in Iraq. He went back over there as a contractor for the United States government. And then he came back and ran for city council here in his city. So he has a history of leadership and accomplishment. And that's, of course, important. And I salute him for his caring. And on that note, let me also say I offer, obviously, my respects, as do you, I'm sure, with respect to Colin Powell's family, considering his passing this past week and his funeral, which was incredible yesterday. It was 2 hours on TV. It was carried live. Presidents Biden, Bush, Obama, and Secretary Clinton were there. I don't know what was wrong. I think Bill must have been ill or something, because he would have been there. He's a very very substantive man and a great leader and a former great president who was always referred to as the first black president. And we can talk about that sometimes when you look at the two track records between his record for African Americans and Mr. Obama's President Obama's record towards African Americans. But in any event, these are the timely topics of our day, and so now we've gone through those, and I think we're going to take just real quickly. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard, also AKA Police Commissioner Linda Bernard for the city of Detroit, newly reelected. And you are also, and you can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, etc. We're on there. So come on, let us know what you think. Send me your comments and so forth. You can subscribe and you can also call into the station. Um, and that number is 313 355 6018. 313 355 6018. So now that we've been brought up to date on all of the timely topics of the day, Mr. Brian Alexander.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
It's good to talk to you. I want to talk to you about something that I think is of major importance to our community, and that is the building of wealth. You're a young African American entrepreneur, but your entrepreneurship really relates to something that African Americans don't usually understand that well, and that is finance. You actually make your living by buying and trading stocks on the market that are publicly traded. And I'd like you to explain, not as a stockbroker, because you're not a broker, but as an individual who has self taught himself this industry, which, ladies and gentlemen, I do not understand. But having said that, hopefully I'll have a better understanding today, since he can put it in layman's words as a layman and not all the big words that my brother John Bernard, who was senior vice president of J.P. Morgan Chase and had $2 billion under management, his words are different and harder to understand. So I want to understand it from a layman's perspective, because that's all I can do is obviously practice or get involved as a layperson, because I have no expertise in this area. But having said that, you make your living in the stock market, and you made this choice. Why?
First, I would like to congratulate you on your win as police commissioner.
Thank you.
And I also want to wish you a belated happy birthday to someone that has been stable in my life since I don't know how long. And I actually believe that I'm still here right now because of you. So,
You're still here because of me?
Yes.
Well, speak up a little bit now so
Yes,
our
yes.
audience can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a very nice thing for you to say, Brian. I have known you a long time, but you're the only person that I know who is an advocate for the market in the way that you are, and who follows it the way that you do. What made you interested in the stock market as a young African American man who generally, who we don't want to stereotype you in any sense of the word. So, what made you interested?
Well, it's okay. I understand and I know where I've came from and where I'm trying to go. And so, my past, I'm not really ashamed of my past. I've done some things, and actually, I've been to prison. And when I was in prison, I started to learn about the stock market through some birdie sent me a Wall Street Journal while I was.
No, I subscribe. I sent you a subscription to the Wall Street Journal,
I told her
so that you could think about things other than what other people were talking about, which were not positive things.
It wasn't, because I got out and did the same thing. So that Wall Street Journal that Linda Bernard sent me and told me to pick her stock and learn about the stock market is where I started. And I just got interested. I used to do a lot of gambling and everything, so I kind of channeled all of my energy into just this one thing instead of being all over the place like I normally was. I channeled into this one thing, and no, I'm not perfect yet, and I'm not billionaire, millionaire, anything yet, but I'm on the road, and I had to learn myself, because this is something that they're not really teaching African Americans. Okay, they're teaching they're teaching
They're teaching the test.
right.
You don't learn anything in school anymore.
That's true.
I didn't realize it until I was just watching a sitcom the other day, and the girl said, She didn't know how to sew. They didn't know how to fill out a checkbook. They didn't know how to deal with bills. They didn't understand how to take care of a house. Home economics used to be, part of the curriculum. Life skills were part of the curriculum in school. Um, but all that's gone now because that's not on the standardized test. The things that make a person successful and that they can develop businesses in, like you could have a cleaning company or whatever. The things that if you learn how to do things, then you can turn that into a business. But the only thing they teach now is the test. That's my understanding.
That is correct.
I
That
mean,
is
they have a
correct.
few
It's
things, but nothing substantive when it comes to life.
That's true.
How to
No
how to
real life
balance a checkbook,
skills.
how to save. I mean, these things used to be taught in school.
Right. And I don't even think they have a home ec
No,
class
they don't.
anymore.
It
I
doesn't
don't even
exist
think
anymore.
they even have that anymore.
Band doesn't exist. Art doesn't exist for the most part. I mean, sometimes a few schools may have band. I mean, these things just music was part of your education, um, but it doesn't exist anymore. Um, so so you so you decided that you wanted to focus on making money legally. Is that a way to put
That
it?
is 100% correct. You told me a long time ago I was a bad criminal.
I
And
did. You're
you
a
told
terrible
me, you
criminal,
said you're
right?
a horrible criminal. You need to do something else. And that Wall Street Journal has set me on a path to, I believe, greatness.
Okay.
I believe greatness.
Okay. So
Um,
tell us about the market. I mean, what do us lay people need to know from your perspective as a lay person?
okay. First thing the person needs to know about the stock market is never invest more money than you can afford to lose because it's always a gamble. Okay, it's
Okay.
always a gamble. There's nothing guaranteed in the stock market, and um, I'm not one to tell a person just to go and run and jump into the stock market, which I did and lost a lot of money. Running and jumping straight in it and not really understanding the dynamics of the company. And I actually had to learn how to read the stock charts before I'm able to start making money because no matter what happens in the stock market, the chart's gonna work. The chart is gonna work,
You mean the
and they have
Nasdaq, the S&P, and Standard and
those are
Standard
the
Poor's?
indexes. Those
Oh,
are
the
the big
indexes.
ones.
Okay.
Those are the big ones. Those basically give you a idea of where the stock market is going to go for the day, where
Okay.
most of the stocks are going, because those funds, um, they are like a composite of 50 stocks each one. The Dow Jones, the
S&P,
Nasdaq,
yeah,
yeah, and
Nasdaq.
S&P. There's like and they all kind of like weigh each other out. So, but if you see the Nasdaq go up or the S&P or something 2 or 3%, that's very, very, very high for one of those indexes to go up in
Okay.
one day. Okay.
Okay. Now, do you need a lot of money to get involved in this in the market? That's number one question. Number two question is, don't you have to do this through like a brokerage house?
Yes, you do. You have to. Anyone can open a brokerage account. Anybody can
Tell
do
me
it.
how. How do you do it?
Okay. Well, there's a
Can you do it
number
on
of
your phone?
yes. There's a number of ways you can do it. You can use a computer. There are 50 different brokerages.
But
I wouldn't recommend like anything other than Schwab or one of the real brokerages because you are able to buy and trade certain securities that the smaller brokerages or the newer ones aren't allowing you to trade.
there's a lot of discussion about something called penny stocks. Can you do those? But you do those through Schwab. Signing up with Schwab costs nothing, right?
Correct.
And then you put money into that account. Let's say $1,000.
Okay.
Okay, so put $1,000 into your Schwab account. Then what do you do?
Okay, well, first thing, when you put your money in your Schwab account, you need to make sure you know how to trade. You need to learn how to buy and sell. Those are the two most important things, buying and selling. And good thing about Schwab is 24 hours, and they will answer the phone for you 24 hours a day if you have a question. They can't give you financial advice, but any kind of question that you have, they will do it. So $1,000 is a great start to start um, investing in with your brokerage. But
And you
the
don't need a broker
difference,
for that. You can just do this on your own.
yes, you can do this on your own. It takes 5, 10 minutes to Open
Transfer
to
the money
open an
into
account.
the account.
Yeah, they verify you and make sure that you're human and you're off and rolling. And they're not gonna tell you one thing for sure. You need to know. You need to watch your own money because they're not gonna tell you anything.
They're not gonna tell you when you're
They ain't
winning or
gonna tell
when
you
you're
when you
losing.
winning or you losing.
They'll tell you if you call and ask though
They-
what's happening,
that's true, but they will tell you if you're losing because they'll take your money out of your account.
and the thousand will disappear.
It'll disappear. It'll disappear.
Okay, tell me about this thing called penny stock.
Okay, so penny stocks are risky. They are very risky.
Are they really?
But
They really are pennies,
pennies.
like 80 cent or 90 cent or a
Some of
dollar
them.
or $2.
Penny stocks are considered stocks that are under $10.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Penny stocks
Those
are under
are
10. Okay.
they are under $10. You know, some people say 5, but between under $10 are considered penny stocks because
Is it? But it's still considered a security.
yes, it is. They are penny stocks are more volatile, and when I say
Meaning?
volatile, they may shoot up and down, up and down.
But why?
So you want to get in and out because there's a lot of people trading them. There's a lot of people trading them, and
Give me an example of a
penny
trade. I don't
stocks-
understand. Okay, I put $1,000 in Schwab into the account, and then what do? I look for the pen. I look for stocks that are penny stocks. How do I
No,
do that?
you would first thing you want to do. You want to do a little bit of research on what you're putting your money into. And penny stocks, like I said, they are very risky. If you're just starting out, that's not
Oh,
where
they're
you
new
want to start.
companies.
Yes,
for the
they're
most part.
new. Yeah, they're new companies, and don't get me wrong, they can shoot up real quick, but they'll also bottom out. And
Can you give us an
bankrupt.
example of some that, within your experience, that have just gone from
Yes.
penny stocks to a great stock?
Oh, so from a penny stock to a great stock.
I mean, very
Let's see.
lucrative.
Okay, there was a stock called what is it? Let me check this right here. I'm trying to think of one
Okay,
that went
but
straight that started off as a penny stock.
really,
Yes, there's
and went to what?
there's not a lot that just penny stocks that blow up. Either they get bought out or something to
But
that
I mean,
nature.
but you make money.
But you
That's
can
the
make
point.
penny stocks is not a stock, nothing that you want to invest in. Penny stock is get in and get out. Get
You're
in,
just watching
get
it,
your little
so
gain,
it goes up.
and get
You
out.
get the gain and
Yeah,
move on.
because it's not penny stocks don't stay up. They're penny stocks for a reason,
I see.
and you will lose your money.
Because as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, like when, ladies and gentlemen, when a company starts, it's always usually privately funded. It's funded by investors like Sarah and Tom and Joe may all give 100,000 or 10,000, whatever, to start this company. Okay, company's doing okay. So then the company, in order to raise money, issues an IPO, an initial public offering. And that initial public offering says you can buy into this company for this amount. Um, Facebook did that, of course, Tesla, everything, and you can tell us some of the history of the names that we recognize. But that initial public offering is graded by people who are financiers, who are stock market people. They'll say this Facebook's getting ready to do a round of funding. We think Facebook is going to go up. They're in the round of funding. The initial public offering is how they raise $1 million. Let's say. So they issue the initial public offering. You can buy at the price that they set for that initial public offering. Like I get like $10, $12, $20.
Right.
You know. As a matter of fact, you're going to tell me about the Trump thing because that's one of those. That was like an initial public offering. I want to talk about that in just a minute. But the initial public offering sets the stock price at something. Brokers call all their clients and say, hey, this company's going public now, or they're raising money, and I think it's a good idea for you to get involved. So you take that $1,000 and you put it in that company at, let's say, $20 a share or whatever it's going to be. And you buy that, and then, depending on the strength of the company, the stock can go up almost immediately, the same day. But he's going to tell you about what happened with Donald Trump this past week. So that's what we're talking about. It really goes from pennies, can go to hundreds to thousands of dollars. I mean, I think what is it right now? Not Amazon is trading over $1,000 a share.
I think it's almost 2,000.
Over 2,000. Tesla is over $1,000. I mean, just think When it was initially offered, though, it was like $25, $30. So for every one share you bought at $25, you now could get $1,000 if you sold it. But the projections are that it will just continue to rise, and of course there are international stocks as well. But back to what you were telling us about. Before we get to that, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner Linda Bernard. My guest today is Mr. Brian Alexander, an urban investor, and a person who has taught himself this trade, if you will, and who is going to share with you his methodology for making it work and for making money in this market. Okay. And you're watching us again on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. So please tune in on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everything. We're here for you. Okay. Go ahead, Brian.
So you were speaking of Donald Trump. Well,
yeah, tell him what happened. Let's lead up to the okay. Tell him what happened this week.
So now the stock market is a lot more open to the regular investor like me and you. Social media has kind of taken over the stock market.
Okay.
Okay, and one of the reasons that you don't want to just jump into the stock market because it is manipulated. Okay, let's not act well. Everybody knows that it's manipulated a little.
Well, we
Okay?
saw that with the Robin Hood
that.
issue,
Right?
where what was that? What was the name of that stock? It was
AMC, and they were
not
they
It
were,
was the other one. It was like a shoe store or something like that, and it went up from like $10 or $20 to like $500-$600. It was the big Robin Hood story.
that's AMC.
Okay,
That's AMC.
that's
It's
one
the
of them.
movie
Okay.
there. Yeah, and they were shorting the stock down, and what that means is shorting the stock means you're betting against the stock price to rise. You're betting that it's going to go down, and when there's a violent movement in the stock and you're betting it goes down, it causes what they call a short squeeze, and that comes from a big buy and the stock price violently shoots up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that bought that stock
At
expecting it to
$15
go down,
a share,
expecting
went up to
it to
six,
go
700.
down,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes up to $60 a share.
600. It went up to like $500-$600.
Oh, you talking about GameStop?
Yeah, GameStop. That's the one I was talking
You
about.
talking about
That was Robin
GameStop.
Hood, right?
Yes, that was. It was all. They were all included. It was GameStop, AMC, Nokia. It was a whole bunch of them. Genius Brands.
Nokia was one of them. You're
yes. So when that violence happens, the short sellers have to repurchase the shares that they bought, and it makes the stock prices shoot up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, social media is amazing, and I learned a lot off of it. And you can get a lot of tips from social media. So, like right now, Donald Trump has
This past
a
week.
he had a
This past week, ladies and gentlemen, the Donald raised his head,
Donald
and he
Trump
raised it
is-
mightily. He's going to tell you
Trump
how.
is something else. He's one of the smartest people that I've seen. Like, I don't really like him too much, but as far as being a businessman and smart, can't take nothing from him. So
Well, actually,
he
can,
has
but
a-
go ahead. This
he
was
has
a smart move, though.
He
Go
has
ahead.
a SPAC, and once it reached public trading.
What was
Donald
it? What
Trump-
is this entity? What is
Donald Trump. It is a.
what is the name of this entity?
It's called. Let me look at the name of it because I got in it and got out of it because what happens is they're called pump and dumps. Okay, so as soon as they come out, Donald Trump might tweet, I got a new stock coming out, which he did, and it shot up to like $80 from like $10
Okay.
in one day.
Okay, so that's 800%.
Yes, and so social media with Donald Trump. Donald Trump actually is starting his own social media platform because Twitter,
Oh, I know that.
Twitter banned
know.
him. So this is his.
Which I thought was inappropriate, incidentally.
I
I don't
agree,
agree
too.
with this
That's
censorship within the media. I don't think that's a good idea, but go ahead.
I
It's a
agree.
First Amendment issue for me as a lawyer, but go
I
ahead.
agree. I think everybody.
But
should.
anyway, tell us about
So
the Donald.
DWAC is the
What
name
is it
of
called?
It's called Digital World. Digital. Let me look at it. Digital World something. And Donald Trump brought this out, and social media is so prevalent now. So if somebody sees, like, even Elon Musk, you know him, the Tesla man, they're tweeting certain things and it's manipulating the stock market, because when Elon Musk says, "Hey, I'm gonna start taking Dogecoin or whatever cryptocurrency," guess what happens to that cryptocurrency? It immediately shoots up,
Mm-hmm.
because and that
In,
that is
in
one.
payment for his cars, if he's going to take a cryptocurrency for a car, then that currency goes up on the market.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay,
Exactly.
but back to the Donald.
So Donald came out with his SPAC. It is called, it's right at the top of my list too. It is called Digital. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's called Digital World. DWAC is
The call
the,
numbers.
the and it's shot up from actually $9.84 to $175
In how in what, a couple
in
of days?
one day.
In one day,
One day
from less than $10 to
to
almost $190.
$175, and now it's back down to 50.
Okay.
But when something new comes out, especially from Donald Trump, he has a million followers. He has so many followers. And
Does he really? I didn't realize that.
What, Donald Trump probably has more followers than me, you, and everybody in
Well, I'm
Michigan.
obviously me. I don't have any.
And me and you, everybody in Michigan, he probably got more followers. So
He's
when
got
Donald
millions
Trump
of followers,
says
is what
something,
you're saying.
when Donald Trump says something, it it it's just like if Elon Musk says something, it's gonna manipulate the stock price, which they've been doing with Pfizer, they've been doing it with Moderna, they've been doing it with all the different stocks, and they go up based on news
Right.
that's
As
coming
it
out,
should. Right.
whether it's true or false.
Correct.
Because once the news comes out, it's news.
Correct. It's considered true.
It's news,
That's
whether
true.
whether it is or not. And
That's
then
true.
once the stock price goes up and they find out that it's not necessarily true, guess what happens? All your money goes disappear.
Donald Trump is a brand. The Trump hotels, Trump resorts, etc. But as a businessman, he's a great marketer to me. He's a great sort of P.T. Barnum. He can get the people in. Got that part. But the substance of his investments, as you know, his track record as a businessman has been very poor. Virtually every investment that he had has gone bankrupt. From the casinos to now his golf courses are in trouble, etc. But he puts his name on things, and that kind of sort of makes it work. So he really has a brand that he markets very well, and that's what he just did with respect to this stock. Came out at $9 or something, and you say went to almost $180 in one day. So if you bought it that morning, if you bought 100 shares that morning for $1,000, by the end of the day you would have had $178,000.
Yes.
So that's really the whole point that I'm trying to make. So, and then of course now it's leveled back off at $50 a share, but at $10 from $50, of course, is also a 500% gain. So you would have made $50,000 today if you sold it today and bought it this past week when you bought it. So
I wish I had kept it.
yeah, I told you. You should have kept it, but you
I'm
get skittish. I don't get skittish. I'm not skittish. I mean, I just let me see how this. Let's roll this dice.
Let's see
what's
reason
gonna happen.
I am like that is because I've been in it when it's gone up 10,000% and watch it go down the next day from $17,000 to $2,000.
Well, what's so interesting about that is that you're similar to my grandmother. She'd say all the time, "A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush," which is true. I mean, don't be greedy. Just keep it moving. Take your gain and move out of the thing and invest in something else. And that seems to be your philosophy. You're conservative, a very conservative investor, probably more conservative than me. That's for sure.
The difference between what I'm doing and what investing is, first thing is you can't day trade and invest. It doesn't work. It's gonna either
you have to define a day trade.
Okay, a day trade is opening a position and closing it in the same day, like Donald Trump stock. If you open it at 9 and
Mm-hmm.
closed at 175 in the same day, that's considered one day trade.
Okay, and that's legal.
Yes, it is, but it's geared to kind of hurt the small person to stop them from doing that. Because if you have $25,000 in your account,
Right.
you can do that umpteen million times in one day. If you don't have $25,000 in your account, you can only do that three times in a 5 day business, rolling business day period.
What's it
So,
called again? That one day. It's one day trading.
yes, day trade.
Day trade. So you can
Day
only
trade.
day trade 3 times a week.
Three times a week, unless you have $25,000 in your account.
Okay.
Most people are not starting with $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of, if you had $25,000, you could do that with Donald Trump doing it every day. You know what I mean? But they kind of they limit the small person from being able to make those big amounts of money like the people with a lot of money. And I
Mm-hmm.
really think that's unfair because why should it matter if you trade $5 or $10 20 times a day? You're still paying the fee, the same fee,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
You still got to pay taxes
you still
on your
got to do
returns.
it.
You still we haven't even talked about that, but we'll have to have someone on to talk about the tax implications of the day trading and the fluctuations and the taxes that you incur on earned income because it's earned income when you trade stocks. But just as an aside on that point, and before I go to a station break, I saw a news program yesterday that talked about the impact of people who do online betting, like poker and stuff like that. And they said it was like a real serious broadcast because a person had put like 100. They'd been because of COVID and stuff playing poker online with $100,000, and he ultimately made only like $3,800 in the whole year, but because his losses are not deductible from gambling online. That's a federal statute. He got a tax bill from IRS for almost $5,000, 4,000 something or other. So on the money, he only actually made like 3,200. But it's fun, It's gambling is like an adult entertainment. I mean, it is something you do, and most people who do it enjoy it. I don't, but that's just me. I don't have money to lose. But the people that did, I mean, the guy that did, he was shocked that he had lost so much money, but he was still being taxed on this $4 or $5,000, and he couldn't write off his losses. I don't know how it works, but I urge you, if you're doing this, to be mindful of the tax consequences. And it doesn't exist. It's only with gambling. It's not with the sports betting. I
Oh,
think I
really?
think you can deduct your losses in sports betting, but I don't know why you can't do it with cards. But I promise you, I'll have somebody on to talk about it, and maybe we can take it from there. So I want you to be aware that whatever you're doing, whether you're doing it Brian's way, which is tax deductible, I think, when you're trading and you lose money, you can deduct that, I believe, under IRS
Yes, zero
against
dollar
your
wash.
against your gains. You'll either have gains or losses, and you only are taxed on your actual gains. But if it's gambling on the phone, then that's a problem. Okay, back to the point. So we're talking about no, and having said that again, this is Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner Linda Bernard. I am your defender and your champion for civil rights within this community. You are watching us on the greatest station in the nation and the world, pardon me, the greatest station in the world, WJZZ Cool TV. You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And I urge you to tune in and let me know what you think. I'm, I listen well, so let me know what you think. Okay, back to this issue of so penny stocks are stocks that are under $10.
Yes.
You open an account, costs you nothing to open an account with Schwab, and you like Schwab because you can talk to a person 24 hours a day, any
Yes.
time of day or night. And I have called them, ladies and gentlemen. I must say they're very polite. There's no issue. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, their customer service is very good.
Great.
It is very good, and they are very respectful, even when you only have $500 in the account. It doesn't matter. The respect is there. I think whether it's 500 or 50,000. So okay, so Donald Trump. If we had invested in that morning at $9 and seven, I could have got $170 per share by the end of the day.
Yes.
Okay, how did you know that that was going to happen, or that what because of his celebrity?
Number one, like I said, social media. So I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but you just don't know when. So you gotta kind of watch it. You kind of gotta watch
How
it.
do you watch stock?
Uh, I watch it all day.
I
That's
know, but
my
how
thing.
does a person
Oh, you,
meet, or someone who
uh,
works for a living every day? And how do we do it?
YouTube or like you said, Twitter, all that stuff is it. There are even Facebook. There are groups for just stock trading. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
really?
Yes.
Tell me what
Uh,
on Facebook. There's a
yeah.
group?
There's
What's it
million
called?
of them. There's a million of them. You can say Facebook stock. I got them in one. It's called AMC Stock Army, and what it is they basically they're focusing on one stock. You know, everybody's focusing on their different stocks, and they make videos, and they tell you whether the stock, the chart tells you it's getting ready to go up or not. And some days you'll get there and you'll say, hey, they'll make a video and say, hey, tomorrow's a good day for this stock.
Somebody would just make this video.
Make the video, and then guess
But
what?
how do you know
Everybody,
who's legit, what's good, what's not?
You don't. You don't. You
It's a
gotta
gamble.
kinda,
You still
it's
you're rolling the
all
dice.
gamble. And as you hear all this stuff on YouTube, they'll tell you it's not financial advice. It's entertainment purposes only. That's why I never take my money and just leave it. I'm gonna move it. Yeah, because on Twitter they say it's going up today, but there's no sense in going up today and then losing all your money back tomorrow. If it's going up today, get your money today and get out today.
So that is your
is
personal philosophy.
That is my
My
personal
philosophy is a little different. I don't like that in and out stuff, unless it's something that I could see, like the Donald Trump situation. And I agree with you because of his brand and the Tesla brand. The brands are what people like me follow because I don't know enough to be able to really understand. But I understand the importance of getting in early
And
and,
see,
and
that's
getting
the
out
difference.
if you can at the top.
And see, that's the difference. See, like you don't have the time that I have to sit there and because you got to run here,
I gotta go to court.
You got court, you got TV shows.
I got
you have a
defendants
lot of
I gotta
stuff going on.
represent.
Yes, please represent them because you've helped me tremendously, so I wouldn't dare take you away from. It would be a travesty to take you away from helping some of those guys that have made some mistakes. And one thing I have to say about you, I can't wait till I'm super, super rich because I'm going to bless you.
Oh,
Because
okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, I'm saying that on
Right.
this too because you have just never given up my parents, my family, everybody. And it didn't matter if 2 o'clock in the morning, knock on your door, Linda, I need. And you were, come on in, let me help you. Let's figure out how to get you to the right spot. And I'm getting there now, and I'm
Okay.
proud of myself, and I'm happy that I'm going to be able to do that around you so that you can see what the seed that you planted. Like a
Well,
long
I
time ago.
appreciate that very much.
So-
But okay, so you can do the penny stocks. They're not investment quality, but people do make money in
Yes.
penny stocks.
And there are stocks you can get and just get dividends. You can buy a big stock.
Oh, you can
and
buy
just,
General Motors, good stock. I mean, the
Yeah, one
grade
that's gonna
A
pay
stocks.
pay you a big old dividend.
Pfizer, and all those. The Ford Motor Company. They all pay dividends. But I think that the new market now seems to revolve around. It's a different paradigm than the old days. You had blue chip stocks, General Electric, General Motors, Ford Motor Company, the blue chips, and of course the pharmaceutical companies, Merck, Pfizer, etc. And now, of course, and Tesla, of course, is now a blue chip,
Right.
a stock. But the real money now is being made in different ways because of social media and because of the internet. Now, let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. Tell me
Okay.
about that. What is cryptocurrency?
crypto is
You're
cryptocurrency
involved in
is
cryptocurrency, aren't you?
a little.
Okay.
Yes, a
So
little.
so you okay? So tell me about crypto. There's how many crypto companies in Europe? I mean, estimated. I mean, what do you think?
I think there's a new crypto coin comes out every day.
Okay. Okay, tell me about this. I mean, how do you know which one
A lot
to
of them
buy?
are
A lot of young
okay.
people are buying crypto. It's amazing to me. I'm shocked by it, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't understand it. So help me.
Okay, so cryptocurrency is basically, in layman terms, it's a digital payment, a way to pay for stuff or transfer stuff or get information from stuff on a ledger. And when I say a ledger, like every transaction is recorded
Yes, it is.
with like you
Huge
can
room with all these numbers on it. I've seen
exactly
that. Yeah.
exactly every transaction is recorded, so it kind of just keeps you it keep like Bitcoin. Okay,
That's what. Okay, Bitcoin.
everybody's heard of Bitcoin.
Yep, they
Okay,
have.
and it would have been great to get in Bitcoin when it was free, when it didn't cost anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember when it was on the cover for. I
Right.
have the magazine when it was just at 2,000. I said buy Bitcoin at 2,000 a share. And I said that was high, you know.
Right.
And that was 10 years ago. But yesterday it was at 60,000 a share.
Yeah, so that would have been a great investment.
It would have been a good
It would
if
have
you
been a
could
great
hold up
investment.
your money for
Right.
5 years, yeah, or
Right.
6 years.
But see, this is the thing that people got need to know. Anybody that wants to invest in crypto, probably Bitcoin is probably the safest one. It's not as volatile. But what happens is people think that because Bitcoin is 60,000, you gotta have $60,000 to invest in Bitcoin. You don't. You can invest in Bitcoin with $5. You can invest in Bitcoin with $1 because what it is you're getting a percentage on your money. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin is 60,000. If you put $10 in Bitcoin and it goes up 2%, you made
Mm-hmm.
$2, or what if
Yeah,
you
you
made
made
up 20
$2
cents?
on the 10. Right.
Exactly. That's how, even with the stock market, that's how it works. It doesn't matter
So it's like
how
a
much.
mini stock market in some
That's
respects.
exactly what it is. And the crypto charts, they read the same way as the stock chart. So if you can read a stock chart, you can read a crypto chart.
But anybody can start a cryptocurrency.
Yes, they can. Anybody
It
can
could
start
be
it, and it can be,
WJZZ Cool TV crypto.
and yes, and it could go straight up to the moon and go back down,
Depending on the marketing.
disappear the next day, because people are making fake cryptocurrencies and they're pumping them real quick, going up, shooting them up 200, 300%, and then people see it's going up 200, 300%, and they get FOMO, which means fear of missing out. And since it's so high, it's going up.
Missing out, FOMO.
Right.
Okay.
That was my major.
That used to stand
was
for Ford
the-
Motor Company when I was their lawyer. FOMOCO. We called it
Oh,
FOMO.
FOMOCO.
F-O, yeah.
And
Fear
know,
of missing out.
right.
I got it. Okay.
Speaking of Ford,
FOMO.
Ford's going up lately. So
Yeah, Ford
but-
is going up. Yeah.
but people see it shooting up, and then they'll see it at 300%, and then they saw a cryptocurrency go up 10,000% yesterday, so they'll hurry up and jump in it at 300%, and then guess what?
Get this. Yeah,
They'll drop it. They'll take their money out, because usually, see, like Bitcoin, it's controlled by only a small number of people that have all this control over this currency. Okay, there are other currencies that are coming out now where other people have control, so it's not, see, like Bitcoin. If 5 people have all of this money in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes up, everybody that buys Bitcoin, if it goes up, the person that's got that big chunk of Bitcoin, if they sell it,
It goes way
it goes
down.
way down, and everybody that doesn't have all that
It's like
money,
pulling the rug out from under
exactly,
it.
they
Right.
have too much control over that. Now, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin ain't dropping
well,
like
no,
that.
it's
safe.
not that. It's that Bitcoin is
but
so
it's-
global,
right, at
And
this
there are
point.
so many multi-billion-dollar oligarch people
Right.
that are involved because it can't be tracked by governments.
Right.
That
But
it,
see,
it
you
has
know,
a
they-
great appeal to criminals.
And you know what? They're trying to put some regulations on.
They
it
are going
so
to,
that they
and there's
are,
no
because
question.
you know that
It's
the
coming.
government is
But in the
definitely-
meantime, they have had a heyday, and that's to be expected. There are going to be regulations on Facebook and everything. I mean, as a result of these recent hearings and so forth about how they've manipulated young people. I mean, they've been unregulated all this time. They've abused that privilege, and now they're going to have to pay the piper. So it's coming. I mean, most
Speaking
things.
of Facebook, I heard that they're getting ready to get rid of Facebook.
Oh
this
no, they're
week.
not getting right. They're
Oh,
changing their
it's
name.
changed to the metaverse.
Yeah.
Metaverse. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah, because
So
Facebook
it's
has
gonna
been so
be-
tarnished as a result of the congressional hearings. But
Yes. So there are a million cryptocurrencies though. You kind of got to do your own little research
research
and and check it out. They got some cryptocurrencies that you can start off getting for free.
like Pi.
Pi Network. I
Yeah, yeah,
spoke to
which
you
is an
about that.
Asian cryptocurrency, I
It
believe.
is a. It
Yeah,
was
all you do is
started
push
by.
your button on your phone every day. He's made me start doing this, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll see what happens ultimately. But in any event, but Pi is one that's free. Pi is what it's called, and
Yes,
yeah, and you can just go on and
and
I
use
call
you.
me. I can invite you. You have to have an invitation, and then I'll invite you, and then you can push the button every day. It costs you nothing, not a dime.
Not a
But
dime.
having said that, we've unfortunately run out of time. Brian, thank you for your time
Well, I
today,
definitely
and for your
appreciate you having
perspective
me.
as a young African American male on this subject, and for letting people know that they need to read a little more. And you read on your phone all the time, so you don't need a book. You can just read it off your phone. You need electricity, which I don't agree with. But anyway, back to the point, because I've never been. I don't like to read on my phone. But thank you again for your attention today, for tuning in to Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the nation. Tune in, of course, on all social media platforms, which is what Brian was just talking about, which includes Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, etc. Thanks again.